Do you ever play rock, paper, scissors? Changing your lower unit lubricant and your stern drive or outboard has to be the worst job in the marina or getting your boat ready for winter storage. Stick around to find out more. Hey, I'm Sean from Lens Cove Lessons in Boating, and this is Bruce. Bruce has been here with us for years, and he is going to go over today one of the worst and messy jobs in the marina, and that is changing your lower unit lubricant. None of us like to do it, but he's going to go over why you should every season and what you should look for and little tips so you do it right. On today's video, we're going to cover how you check your lower unit lubricant and see if it needs to be changed, how you drain it properly and cleanly, little things you should look for so you don't make any mistakes, how to refill your lower unit, how to check your reservoir bottle at the end, and how to make sure everything's cleaned up and ready for storage. So your lower unit lubricant is what protects all the gears and the shifting mechanism while you're boating. And it's a sealed system insofar as, other than a monitor bottle on newer models inside the boat, everything is in the drive and below the waterline primarily. And what happens when you're running the boat and you're pushing the boat hard, getting up on plane and cruising around, there's a lot of heat that builds up in the lower unit. Then it cools off when you stop boating, it goes back in the water and cools, and then it heats back up again the next time you go for the run. Ironically, there's really very little dirt in the system, but over time the lubricant breaks down.
So we'll start off by pulling the bottom plug and checking for contamination, water intrusion, getting into the lower unit.
If the lubricant is really new and really fresh, it'll have a light amber color or a light green or a light blue color. And that is, depending on the manufacturer of the lubricant you get, the color of new lubricant. It's not strong smelling, it feels very clean to your fingertips, and when you look through it, you can almost see through the liquid when you have a small amount. It's almost not clear, but definitely opaque. As the lower unit is used, or as the boat is used all season long, and that heat-cold cycle goes over and over again, and the stress of the drive happens, the lubricant will darken, and it will also start to smell kind of a dirty, burnt smell. When you pull the lower unit drain screw, if you find a whitish, milky gray color, you're going to know that there's an excessive amount of moisture in that lubricant. So it's even more important to get it drained out completely. And you may want to have it pressure checked at a local marine service center to make sure that it'll hold lubricant next summer.
So we loosen the screw just enough to get a little sample coming out. I'll show you on a piece of paper here. It is actually a little bit dark. And definitely due for a change.
If you see it dirty at all, you're going to want to completely drain that. And what you do is you pull the lowest drain plug out, making sure that the gasket or seal is still on that plug. So that's your gaskets that you need to watch for. This one seems to be in good shape. There's no nicks or scratches in it. It's not torn. You can also inspect that plug because it's often magnetized to see if there are any metal fragments on the end of the plug, which will show excessive wear and tear on the gears or in the shifting mechanism. And once you pull that, you can then go to the upper vent hole and allow air into the system so that it will drain faster. And this is our reservoir for our gear lube right here. And it's actually nice and clean because it's not contaminated. Like the stuff down in the drive has been used. This is a brand new fluid up top here that feeds it if the level drops. There's your add mark right there, and that's your operating range right there. So you want to be, and we're pretty well bang on right there. Just a little bit below the operating range is where we are now. Once it's completely drained, we're going to want to wipe everything down, make sure everything's clean, and make sure you have your gaskets. You would fill the lower unit from the bottom, and you need a pressurized system, either through a squeeze bottle or a large canister like we have here.
I'm going to fill it through the bottom hole till it comes out the top hole. Then I'm going to go up and I'm going to fill the reservoir to the right to the top pad line.
And you pump lubricant up into it until it gets to the level of the vent hole. Once it gets to that vent hole, you're going to want to put the vent screw back in and then put the lower one back in as quickly as you can so very little drips out.
And here we go, it's starting to come out the top here. So that's when you close the valve down below. You know it's full, you put your top plug in and tighten it up. Now it's a matter of removing the filler from the bottom and quickly putting your bottom plug in without losing too much gear oil. And again, tightening the screw.
On newer Alpha and Bravo drive on Mercruiser, you'll also find a lubricant monitor bottle inside the boat mounted to the engine. And when you drain off the lubricant, you'll find that level drops down and you're going to want to top it back up. In a Volvo system, they often don't have this and they have a dipstick in the top of the lower unit.
This is the same gear oil that we have in the bottle down there. You fill it right to the operating range. That's it, we're done.
Changing out your lower unit lubricant once a year is a great idea. It's probably one of the least desirable and messy jobs that you'll do on your boat, but it'll ensure that when you put it away in long-term storage or for winter, that it has fresh, clean lubricant on it and that those gear and bearing surfaces are going to be protected all winter long and also ready for next season. When you go to launch it in the spring, make sure you check that there's no moisture in there and that it's filled back up to the top in case it did leak down a little bit over the winter. Thanks for joining us on today's Lens Cove Lessons in Boating. Make sure you subscribe to get on board for more of these type of videos. If you like today's video, make sure you throttle that like button, get out on the water, have fun, and stay safe.